Thelake's breath clung to Gameon's cloak as the boat sliced through Lake Toran's mist, its prow cutting a path toward destiny. The castle loomed ahead, its silhouette a jagged crown rising from the water, a stronghold abandoned yet pulsing, with promise, a haven for the Liberation Army if they could claim it. Beside him, Gremio's axe gleamed faintly. Cleo's twin blades caught the dawn's first light. Camille's spear stood ready, Victor's greatsword rested heavy, and Taiho's spear-tipped rods swayed with the boat's rhythm, each companion, a spark in the rebellion's growing flame. "This place is a real-life haunted house," Cleo said, awestruck by the castle. "Are you guys sure there is treasure here?" Camille unimpressed. "I don't know. Victor was the one who said there was," Gremio responded, while Victor ignored the question, whistling a tune. The castle was right in front of them, a place to call home if they could acquire it. The squad, which consisted of Gameon, Gremio, Cleo, Victor, Camille, and Taiho, pushed ahead. The castle's gates loomed, their iron rusted but unyielding, the air within heavy with rot and shadow. Corridors stretched like veins, stone walls slick with damp, the scent of decay curling through torchlit halls. Gameon led the way, his staff, a steady pulse, the rebellion's spark guiding them deeper. The first monsters struck without warning, their eyes glowing like cursed lanterns. Gameon's staff flashed, its arc meeting ethereal flesh as Cleo's blades danced, slicing through spectral wails. Gremio's axe swung wide, splintering Owen into vapor, while Camille's spear thrust with lethal precision, pinning another to the walls. Victor roared, his greatsword cleaving a path, and Taiho's rods spun, scattering the creatures like leaves in a gale. The fight was swift but draining, each clash a reminder of the castle's guarded secrets. Waves of monsters came, clashing. Gameon led the way, his staff a steady pulse, the rebellion's spark guiding them deeper. Victor's greatsword shattered ribs, Camille's spear skewered skulls, and Cleo's blades whirled, severing spines. Gremio's axe hacked through, and Taiho's rod struck like a viper, the group moving as one, their steps echoing over broken tiles. Each fight carved a path forward, the castle's halls a gauntlet testing their will, its shadows yielding only to their steel and fire. Toran Castle was a labyrinth of decay, its corridors stretching like the veins of some ancient beast. The air was heavy with mold and rot, stone walls slick with damp that seeped into boots and bones. The path within the castle was long and arduous, but it was also rewarding. Many treasures hid within and with each of them, making the squad better prepared for the mighty creature to come. Further in, the squad met with more creatures that the squad had never encountered. Gameon ducked a slashing claw, his staff cracking. Against a bat's hide, while Cleo's daggers pinned wings to stone, their screeches piercing. Victor roared, his blade cleaving through, and Camille's spear impaled a beast mid-flight, its body thudding wetly. Gremio's axe met another, and Taiho's rod spun, knocking a bat from the air, but the swarm's frenzy left scratches and bruises, the group's breath ragged as they carved a path through the castle's haunted heart. Their journey eventually led to a wide chamber with stairs leading them deeper down. The deepest chamber was a cavern of despair, its vastness swallowing torchlight, the air thick with the stench of death and sorcery. "Looks like we found the big boss," Victor said, grinning and staring at a beast. The floor quaked, and the zombie dragon rose, a towering abomination of decayed flesh and fractured bone, its hide a patchwork of rot stitched by dark magic. Its wings, tattered and vast, stirred a gale that reeked of graves, and its eyes blazed green. twin pyres of malice that burned into the soul. Its maw gaped, dripping ichor that sizzled on stone, and jagged spines lined its back, rattling like a death knell. Gaemon's heart thundered, his staff raised as the beast's roar shook the chamber, dust raining from cracked arches. The dragon charged, claws gouging furrows in the floor, and Gameon dove aside, his staff striking its flank, the blow jarring his arms as scales held firm. Victor lunged, his greatsword slashing a gash that oozed black, but the dragon's tail whipped, slamming him against a pillar, stone splintering. Camille's spear thrust deep, piercing a rotting thigh, yet the beast's claw raked toward her, forcing a desperate roll, her armor scraping stone. Cleo's blades flew, embedding in the dragon's hide, but its wings swept wide, sending her skidding, torchlight flickering on her gritted teeth. Gremio's axe hacked at a leg, cracking bone, but the dragon's jaws snapped, denting his shield, the metal groaning. Taiho's rod darted, aiming for an eye, but the beast's head swung, knocking him sprawling, his breath a gasp amidst debris. The chamber became a maelstrom of chaos. Ichor sprayed, staining walls, claws tore the floor to rubble, and the dragon's breath, a miasma of decay, seared lungs, blurring vision with its acrid sting. Gameon rallied, his staff a beacon, weaving through the storm to strike the beast's chest, a blow that drew a shuddering growl. Victor rose, blood streaking his face, his greatsword sinking into a shoulder, black ooze pooling. Camille's spear found a gap, twisting deep, her muscles straining as the dragon thrashed, pillars cracking under its weight. Cleo's daggers rained, one blinding an eye, green flame dimming, but the beast's tail lashed, forcing her to leap, landing hard on shattered tiles. Gremio's axe met a rib, the crack echoing, yet the dragon's claw grazed him, tearing cloth, blood welling. Taiho spun, his rod cracking against a jaw, teeth splintering, but the beast's wing battered him, stone dust clouding his fall. Gaemon's staff struck again, aiming for the skull, each hit a plea for victory, his arms burning with effort. The group tightened their circle, wounds slowing them but spirits unbroken, their strikes a symphony of defiance. Victor's blade, Camille's spear, Cleo's daggers, Gremio's axe, Taiho's rod, all converging as Gameon's final blow landed, shattering bone. The dragon's roar faded to a gurgle, its massive form collapsing, a mountain of rot crumbling into silence, the chamber still but for their heaving breaths and the drip of ichor on stone. Serves you right, acting like a big shot when you are already dead. Camille said, glad the battle was over. The fog was lifted and the castle was theirs, its halls now a sanctuary cleansed of shadow. Gameon stood at the center, Lake Toran shimmering outside, the sunrise painting the sky in hues of amber and hope. His companions stood near, battered but alive, their eyes reflecting the dawn's promise. The castle needed a name, a heart for the rebellion, and Gameon's thoughts turned to a simple joy. Ramyeon, the warm, savory dish that had sustained him through darker days. He chose it, Ramyeon Castle, a quiet tribute to resilience. Its name carried on the wind as the Liberation Army's new stronghold rose against the Empire's tide. Congratulations, Commander Gameon. Let this day be known as the founding day of the new Liberation Army. Mathiu said he arrived shortly after receiving news that the castle had been acquired. Just as the group was calling for a celebration, a sudden flash of light appeared in the air. A familiar figure emerged. It has been a while, Gameon. You have finally started on your own path, Leknaat said. Today I come bearing gifts. Here is the first one. Please accept it. Leknaat continued as she conjured a stone tablet. This is the stone tablet of promise. Your true strength lies in the comrades who share your vision. Go forth and recruit others. The names of your new allies will be carved onto the tablet. As for your other gift? Another flash of light caught their eyes and Luke emerged. Under Leknaat's orders, Luke would join the Liberation Army. Gameon, history has only just been set in motion. Do not lose heart. We shall meet again someday. With another flash of light, Leknaat vanished. With the castle, the Liberation Army finally had a place they could call home. A place which was strong enough to defend against possible assaults from the Imperial Army. The group would now focus on recruiting new people and grow their ranks. Commander Gameon, the castle is now ours. It is time to turn our efforts to gathering more allies. Mathiu advised. A man by the name of Labyrinth lives in the town of Kouan. I suggest we recruit him. Mathiu continued, giving the group their new mission. Gameon met with Mathiu the first thing the next morning. Labyrinth is an honorable man. If you tell him I sent you, I am certain he will lend you a hand. Mathiu said as Gameon decided on the squad to bring with him. Before heading to Kouan, Gameon heard rumors of a few more recruits that he could get in the region. Every new recruit would improve the strength of the Liberation Army. Gameon would first recruit Sergei at the tavern in Kaku. His invention, the elevator, was a work of wonder. It would allow Gameon to quickly navigate the castle as it expanded further. The next ally to recruit was in Seika, a familiar face in the inn of the town. Really? You have your own castle now? Marie said as she joined the Liberation Army. Marie would run a popular inn within Ramyeon Castle. Gameon and his squad would be able to stay for free to recharge their tired bodies. In Seika, another ally could be recruited. Onil, a gossipy woman who would always drop hints to Gameon on what he needed to do next. Then, in Quaba, Gameon recalled seeing a peddler when he slipped through the fortress. Chandler would also join the Liberation Army. He would open an item store stocked with any items that Gameon had seen in the stores from other towns and cities. Gameon needed a rest after recruiting all these new people. He returned to Ramyeon Castle and stayed at the inn. After the stay, Marie remarked that the inn was getting busy and she needed a cook to help prepare the meals. Gameon recalled seeing a cook at the inn in Seika. I see Madame Marie has joined the Liberation Army, Chef Antonio said. He would join the Liberation Army, helping Marie to run the inn at Ramyeon Castle. Finally, before the trip to Kouan, Gameon had another place he had to visit. Gameon heard rumors that his old master Kai could be found at Garan. With Kai recruited, Gameon was ready to go to Kouan for his next mission, to recruit Lepant and further strengthen the Liberation Army. This marks the end of the episode. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more.